Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Katawa Shoujo, and we just find out the reason for Lilly's distance from Hisao, and that was because of she was offered to move with Akira to Iverness to be with her mother and father, and that was kind of a blow to Hisao. So we'll see how, when he brings up the conversation with Lilly, how she reacts. Hopefully it's probably going to be a faraway future. It's going to happen here. Hurry, Lilly! I'm moving as fast as I can. I can barely make out Lily's voice over the deafening pounding of the rain. Even though I dislike pulling her around, the situation calls for it. I turn forward, my free hand over my head in a futile attempt to keep at least my hair dry. My vision seems to be in grayscale. This really is rotten weather for summer, and the last kind of climate I'd want for a date. A pity. I even checked the weather forecast beforehand, one of the very few times I'd ever done so, only for it to say that Sunday afternoon would be fine. Looking to Lilly, her shoulders are by now completely drenched, with her right hand holding tightly to mine and her left gripping her retracted cane. This horrid downpour came on just as we were between our destination and Yamaku, so we decided to try rushing the rest of the distance rather than doubling back. Entirely unused to running this fast, Lily's using all her concentration just to avoid tripping over. Hisao, do you know where we're going? Even she's reduced to shouting to try and be heard over the combined noise of the wind and the rain. The rest of my voice is completely drowned out by even a heavier burst of rain. The what? The Shanghai! How far is it? Shouldn't be far now. It doesn't take long before I call out to her once again. Looks like we're safe. It's just up ahead. I quickly pull up to a stop just in front of the familiar exterior, the lantern outside still giving off its reliable glow, and wait for Lilly to catch her breath before going in. Ladies first. The tiny bell inside rings out when I hold the door open for her, a smile and polite nod being my reward before entering myself. As I step in behind her and wipe my feet, only a quick glance is necessary to notice the distinct lack of activity. Shanghai doesn't seem to get much in the way of patronage, and today is no different. Only a couple of tables are occupied. Summoned by the bells ringing, a most expected person comes to greet us. Welcome to the Shanghai! Yuko looks chipper today. Trying to predict her moods is pretty hard, but it's a nice change from the norm. Hello, Yuko. Hey! Good afternoon, you two. That's an awkward bow. She takes a deep bow, somewhat taken aback as she rights herself again and gets a better look at us. What happened to you? You both look... Her eyes drift towards the glass of the door behind us. Did you just now notice it was raining? Oh dear, I am completely oblivious to the world around me. We're inside now, at least. I think that's the most important thing. It's nice and cozy. You're lucky to be working inside today. It has been nice and quiet. I like days like this. Oh, wait, sorry, is there anything you'd like? French vanilla tea, please. I'll have the same. Right, coming right up. She quickly skitters off with a determined look on her face, trying very hard not to forget her orders. If nothing else, she's at least dedicated to her job. I lead Lilly to an empty seat before the two of us settle down. As usual, there's a large difference between my exhausted flopping down into my seat and Lily's delicate sliding into hers, her cane set beside her. For a while, I just idly watch the rain falling outside. The occasional person runs down the street trying to stay as dry as possible, hands often tightly gripping a rain-soaked umbrella. Lily sits just as quietly as I, her eyes closed as she intently listens to all that's happening. It's a comfortable, relaxing silence that exists between us, just the type that we'd so often shared together in the past months. For Lily, at least. I can't help replaying the words of her sister in my mind, at times contrasting them to both our time spent together since I entered Yamaku and to the way she's been since we started dating. No matter how much I try, I can't work Lily out. It's as if the harder I try to second-guess her emotions and her potential decision, the more difficult it becomes to reach a clear conclusion. It makes me doubt whether I'd really ever understood her. In the end, I'm going to have to ask, even though I very much want to avoid doing so. You seem quiet today, Hisao. Really? You seem so enthusiastic about taking me out on a date. I assumed you had something specific you wanted to do. No, not really. Just wanted to spend some time with you. Is that so? Fine, there was one thing. A little grin finds its way onto Lily's face, her knowing full well that she's bested me. It makes what I want to say all the more awkward. It was just Akira and I were talking. Oh? What's with that tone? You two do seem to get on well, don't you? Well, I do think she's a pretty cool person to talk to with. It'd be nice if any of the teachers were anything like her. Cool. For a moment I tried to place her tone of voice, my mouth curling into a smirk as I realized it. You're not jealous, are you? I'm not jealous. After teasing me over such a thing on our first date, I don't feel too bad having a little laugh at her expense this time around. That's right. As we settle down, though, it's only a matter of distraction from the real point of why I brought Lily here. Don't worry, it's mostly just everyday stuff. That said, there was something Akira mentioned that I wanted to talk to you about. When you went to see your family in Inverness a while back, she said, Akira told you about my family's summons, hasn't she? Seconds tick by while I try to read Lily's face. An odd mixture of feelings written on it. She seems annoyed, but also somewhat confused. Here. Yuko tentatively slides our drinks onto the table, her presence oddly small. As she walks back to the counter after a quick, polite nod, I realize the air between me and Lily is thick. Our expressions are both somewhat pensive. Even though she says I should lead my own life, she still interferes at the worst times. I don't think you should blame Akira here. She's just looking out for you. It's not like I can't understand her concern over this. Lily's irritation gives way to an awkward and largely unsuccessful attempt to mask her feelings. She really doesn't deal well with being cornered on personal topics. I know, but I just wanted some more time. I knew you'd have figured it out eventually, but... Some more time to do what? I don't understand. You gotta explain. You were intentionally hiding this from me? For how long were you planning to do so? As I said, I simply wanted more time to think it through. I wanted to be sure of my decision before telling you. So, you had an option of breaking up with me and had it in one hand and then staying with me in the other hand, and you were deciding which would benefit you most? This is really not going in the right direction here for you, Lily. What did you decide to do in the end? I know what I want her to say, but an awful feeling refuses to leave my gut. My family does dearly want me to return to them, and Akira will be going as well. I could still teach as a career, whether it be here or there. So you're going. How long have you known? I already know you were asked when you first went to Scotland about a month ago. Some time. My frustration very nearly boils over. I would be pissed right now. I'm like, you knew we were breaking up, and you were just leading me on for these last few weeks, thinking that we had a future together. This is bad, even for you, Lily. The fact that she's done this affects me more than it should. For her not to only be leaving, but to have been actively hiding her own plans from me, and after seeming for so long to be the one solid pillar of support and reliability I could depend on. It feels as if the foundation underneath me is suddenly shifting drastically, much faster than I can adapt to. Perhaps this isn't so much frustration as sheer unease. Lily. I'm sorry, I wanted to think this through completely, and I wasn't trying to take advantage of you, please. I know, Lily, I know. This is just really sudden. I guess this means that once you go, we'll be breaking up. It's one of the few times I've seen since I met her she's genuinely lost for words. She doesn't look surprised, no doubt because the fact had dawned on her once she became aware of her decision. But rather, she appears genuinely unsure of how to deal with the situation now that it's in front of her. We could try pursuing a long-distance relationship. We're getting more and more common these days, after all. Doesn't work. There's too many factors, too many things happening on both sides of the world, that these types of long-distance relationships, they have an infinitesimally minimal chance of surviving, of lasting. It's not going to work. Even as she says it, the tone of her voice gives away that she doesn't truly believe what she's saying. Lily is far too old-fashioned to be able to cope with the relationship without any kind of physical presence. And even I am, to an extent. All we would ever be to each other would be a voice from the other side of the world. In the end, trying to rationalize everything is futile. Any attempt to try and connect with what's happening with the future or past just seem to get more difficult the more I concentrate. Those quiet moments when we just walked side by side. The precious time we spent with Hanako and Akira. The casual chatter we had during lunchtimes. The times we made love. The confessions of our feelings to each other. All pointless. All just a fleeting moment in our young lives. We're just two children pretending to be adults, aren't we? This reminds me of my very first breakup. It's almost exactly like it, where she knew she was going to break up with me at one point, and she kept the relationship going until it came to a head, and she's like, I'm done. And I was just like, so everything was pointless. It was probably one of the lowest points of my life to have someone do that to me. So I can completely sympathize with Hisao here. Like, I am like literally in his shoes, because this is almost like almost a literal repeat from my real life. I mean, once a girl has decided what she's gonna do, there is no changing her mind. It's set in stone. You can beg, plead, move the world for her, but she will not relent once a decision is made. And it was so very painful. I can see this turning very bad, extremely bad. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure I like where it's going, honestly. Hopefully there's a way to turn this around. A long silence hangs in the air between us. The noise of the other patrons drinking and talking only makes the situation feel more strange and disconnected. Lily's face remains low, her dejected expression clouding it. I'm sorry, Hisao. A simple apology, and no more. She's left entirely without any further response or comment. With a long sigh, I gather what's left of my thoughts and ask the final question I have for her. When will you be going? I'll be leaving with the care, so it'll be a little less than a week. Gosh. She was waiting till literally the last week to tell me. What was she going to do? Tell me the day she was leaving? Wow, talk about taking your heart and ripping it out. Beginning of summer holidays. Just a little afterwards, yes. Her tone is unusually slow and steady, her apologetic and depressed mood all the more written to her face as she tries to hide it in her voice. In the end, I can't even keep my promise of going Tanabata with her before she leaves. I look down, seeing my face reflected in the by now lukewarm cup of neglected tea sitting in front of me. I really thought I'd left this kind of expression behind. For a while I just stared down into the still surface, trying to sort through my emotions to get at what course of action I should take, whether it be right now or in the future. But just as before, the effort is wasted. I glance up to see Lilly gently sipping her cool tea without complaint, face drawn and shoulders slumped. She looks to be deep in thought, too, a strangely cold atmosphere coming between us as we isolate ourselves to mull things over. Even as Lily's cup slowly empties, mine remains untouched. It's a long time before I notice the rain dying down outside and the few other patrons of the Shanghai having left. Wow, that was an awkward end. The chill of the rapidly darkening evening permeates the dormitory hallways. While trudging down the corridor to my room, I see an unwelcome movement from up ahead. Sure enough, the opening of the door opposite mine heralds the arrival of a bespectacled Kinji. Kinji, if you do anything stupid, I will man slap you across the hallway and back into your own dang room. Don't even talk to me. Hey man, what's... Whoa, dude, you look awful, I think. You okay? Really has a knack for making any situation better. I don't really want to go into it, it's late. Okay, that's cool. If you ever want to talk about it, I know, here. I look at him for a moment before surrendering my stern front and awkwardly scratching the back of my neck, embarrassed by my standoffish response to him. Don't do it. Don't talk to him. He'll say something stupid. Thanks, Kinji. Hey, it's cool. That's what friends are for, right? Yeah, you're right. See ya. I open the door to my own dorm room and close it behind me as he quickly waves me off. The solid thud the door makes against the doorframe sounds out a final call for the life I had led since coming to Yamaku. I just stand in my darkened room, fruitlessly attempting to work out what I should do from this point onwards. Just what should I do? Okay, thought we were going to go a little more in depth there for Hisao's thoughts, but I guess not. So we're going to start up in the classroom next. I'm going to save right here. Well, that was quite the bombshell of an episode. Everything's all out on the table. All the cards are played. And it looks like she is on her way to leaving for Scotland. So we will see if we will have to make one last play to get her back, pretty much. Because If personal experience, personal real life experience has taught me anything, it's already a done deal. She's already going, no matter what we do or say. So it would have to be something drastic. It would have to be something earth shattering to that Hiso has to do to make her stay. Because at this point, she's already given the matter some thought, and she's on her way out to Scotland. So we'll see what happens from here, and if Hisao's either going to do something about it or he's going to mope about in his own misery. So we'll see if he does the right thing here. Until the next episode, see y'all later.